Hi, my name is Blake Thornberg. This is my Module 16 case study, the budget debacle. To kind of summarize the case and establish the facts, this district is made up of 5 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, 1 high school. My elementary school is Briardale Elementary. Majority of the staff is veteran teachers who've been there for a while. There's a couple of transfers in, but a majority of the staff are veteran teachers. The principal is Mr. Santos. The building is made up of about 600 students K through 5. The building in an elementary school in the case study is also used as a town's community meeting center. Talking about the funds in this case, the funds are to support curriculum programs placed by the superintendent in each school site's budget. Funds must be used to fund the basic skills for curriculum. The funding formula for the curriculum subject has been confusing. It's led to a lot of competition in schools of which school can raise the most money and kind of how those funds are allocated throughout the district. But just finding out who gets what amount and how everyone gets the most amount of money has been very complicated and kind of a problem. Foundations have been formed at each school, led by a head teacher, and the foundations are led by a parent representative who serves as the president and will run everything. In this case, a fundraiser. To kind of keep going with the foundation background, the president is Mr. Barley, who is a Harvard grad. He's a new parent to the community, so this is his first time. His big motivation is to raise the most amount of money so that the innovative curriculum programs can be offered in addition to the programs that are already being offered at the elementary school. Funds that are raised are handed over to the site principal, placed in a category budgeted for the supplementary curriculum recommended by the foundation, which is like the lead teacher and the rest of the group. When Mr. Santos and Mr. met, they discussed Mr. Barley's job as a fundraiser and his role as president. They did this as soon as he was the board president. He also informed him on his responsibilities to meet with the school's site curriculum committee and inform them of any ideas that might influence the supplementary curriculum program. So he actually did that as soon as he came up with his idea. His fundraising plan, it was a unique idea to raise money by selling raffle tickets in exchange for a chance to win cash, which ended up being the biggest problem. Mr. Barley went to foundation, proposed the idea, where they all supported the raffle for cash idea, and then he decided to move along and follow through with the event. The raffle for cash fundraiser, it was supported by the foundations. Tickets were sold the night of the drawing. The whole community, excited, gathered at Briardale Elementary. Someone tipped the local sheriff's office about the event. They knew something that no one else knew. The sheriff, before the first ticket was drawn, the sheriff arrived, asked Mr. Barley to accompany him to the local sheriff's office, where he was booked and released that day. Later, Mr. Barley was convicted of a misdemeanor and placed on probation for his role in the raffle forecast event. Event ended up on the front page of the local newspaper and left a terrible mark on the foundation at Briardale Elementary. Section 2 is report any legal or ethical issues. Who it really harmed? Well, it harmed not just Briardale Elementary, but it harms the whole school as a district. It makes not only that specific elementary school look bad, but it makes the whole district look bad. Going from the foundation's group, the committee that it was in charge of to raise money for, all the way to the district office and the superintendent the principals, especially Mr. Santos. He was personally embarrassed, one, because this happened at his school under his watch. It ended up being on the front page of the local newspaper, so everyone in the community obviously knows about it. So he was personally embarrassed because this is something he's in charge of and he was very confident about. The teacher in charge of the site, curriculum committee, the whole committee as a whole, they met with Mr. Barely. They okayed it. They said it's fine, move along. He did. Ended up not working out. Mr. Barely, obviously, he was in charge. He ran everything. He ended up being arrested. Very bad look for him and the community as a whole. They all participated. They came. They excited. They paid for this raffle. They ended up not working out. Laws that affected gambling, local laws, state laws, gambling laws for this cash prize. It mentions in our book that all raffle winnings of monetary value, including non-cash prizes, are subject to federal income tax and must be reported to the IRS. Never pay a raffle winner in cash. If the raffle is a monetary prize, the winner should receive a school check for the designated amount. It is the school's responsibility to get their address, their social security cards, their any other information, so that they can actually mail them a check instead of them just giving them cash, which they can't do. So what exactly happened? During a fundraiser for the school's foundation, there was a cash prize for a raffle. Mr. Barley's part of coming up with and following through with the idea was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor. What exactly happened? What we know. We know Mr. Santos, the principal, he met with Mr. Barley. He gave him what he needs to do as a president. Mr. Barley, what he did, he came up with the idea. He met with the committee. The committee said move forward. He ran with it. The foundation staff met with Mr. Barley. They said it's fine, but no one really checked up on can we do this? Is this illegal or not? We know the place. This happened at the Briardale Elementary School. The program, yet again, is at the elementary school for the foundations to raise some money. Unknowns. Yeah, we probably know part of why he was arrested, but we still don't know what the tip exactly said. We also don't know how much of the decision-making process Mr. Santos is associated with. Did the committee go and talk to him afterwards, after they had met with Mr. Barely, or did he did not know anything about it? He met with them. What exactly he told them, what they can do, can't do, his responsibilities for fundraisers, and his meeting with Mr. Barely. We know his role in the cash prize played a role in why he was arrested, but we still don't know exactly for a fact why he was arrested and why he was charged with a misdemeanor. We don't know what misdemeanor it was. We just know it was one. And last but not least, what exactly is going to happen or did happen with the raffle money that was raised. A lot of money was raised. We don't know what happened to it. Review the priorities. Who was damaged? The district reputation again was damaged. Not a good look to have fundraising end up in a arrest and someone being charged with a misdemeanor. The school's foundation's reputation, how they raise money, where the money goes to, how they get it, what fundraisers they could do is bad. The community's opinion on the school, the district, the principal, the foundations, everything could be ruined with this one event. What else could we learn? Like, again, the same questions as last time. What was the tip? Why exactly was he arrested? What was the misdemeanor for sure? And a decision. There's not really 100% enough information as of yet to make a full decision. Options and possible consequences for Section 6. A couple options here. No action. Ignore, move on, put it behind you. Some more extreme on the other ends. You can remove Mr. Barley from his position. He's no longer with the foundations. He moves on. You move on, put it behind you. You can shut down how you raise money completely and find other ways to support those activities. Last option, option 4, would be meet and talk with the superintendent, the board, and some advisors on what is the best route moving forward. Some pros and cons for each one. Ignore and move on. Yeah, a pro is you're done. You don't have to, in theory, mess with it anymore. But a con is you don't really do anything. You don't really get to the bottom of anything. You don't know anything. And it just sets a bad taste in the community's mouth that they're always going to question what happened. If you remove him from the position, a pro is the person who was in charge of it is gone, but you open up for the possibility of something like this happening again if you just remove the person and put someone else in. You set down the foundations, which could really hurt the school's funds and how they raise money for these activities. If you meet and talk with the superintendent, the board, the advisors, a big problem with this whole case is lack of communication between the committee, Mr. Barely, the superintendent, the principal, the district as a whole. This would help with that. This con may take a little bit longer, but you will get a better answer in the long run. Choose the best option. To me, the best option is to meet and talk with the superintendent, the board, and the advisors. More than likely a lawyer of some sort for the school. All the schools would have a lawyer. Call them up. They would know the best route moving forward. You would discuss protecting the district and the district and yourselves first, the principals, the superintendent, and get yourselves legal protection. You could avoid these problems in the future by setting up new policies, changing policies. They would help you be able to find the unknowns. There's still a couple unknowns in this case. This would help you solve those and figure out what to do next. With this, you would be able to move forward with not only the board's approval, but also with your legal advisors, your lawyers' approval to help get everything behind you the best route. Once you do that, you can also inform the community with a public statement of some sort through a approved form of communication, whether that is a text, a email, social media, whatever it is, but a approved form of communication from a statement. Implementation, kind of already talked about it. First, Mr. Santos would meet and talk with the superintendent, let him know everything that happened, let him know everything he knows. Once him and the superintendent have talked, they could call in an advisor, a lawyer, fill them in, tell them what happened, and get some legal advice on how to protect the school and protect the district as a whole. Once they meet with the advisor, they could meet with the head of the board, fill him or her in on what happens, their advice, legal advice, the trouble they're in, if any, and the best route moving forward, then meet with the rest of the board. Yet again, the biggest thing is protect the district, protects the kids from this kind of thing happening again, setting up policies that would protect the district from running into problems like this again, so we could best benefit our kids with any kind of fundraiser that wants to happen later on in the district. Yet again, you'd find these unknowns, find out for sure what exactly happened. Yet again, moving forward, you would talk to the board, talk to the advisors, and they will set up a plan together as a group on the best route moving forward. And yet again, the community, you don't want to leave them in the dark. They're constantly going to be wondering, constantly going to be questioning everything. You would inform the community with a public statement from the district on what you're going to be doing moving forward. Thank you. This is my last assignment, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.